You ever look at a company and just wonder, how do they do that? It's like they have this secret formula for success, right? Well, today, we're going to decode that formula. We're pulling back the curtain on the blueprint that dictates how businesses really, truly work.
So what is a company's secret DNA? It's a fantastic question because, just like our own DNA, every single business has a core blueprint that basically controls everything it does. And that blueprint? Well, that's what we call a business model.
At its simplest, a business model is the company's grand plan. It answers three huge questions. How do we create something of value? How do we get that value to you, the customer? And finally, how do we actually make money from it all? It's the whole strategy, right there in a nutshell.
Okay, think of it like a recipe for a cake. You can't just throw a bunch of random ingredients in a bowl and hope it turns into something amazing. It doesn't work like that. A successful business needs a clear, thought-out recipe that guides every single decision it makes.
And this recipe is built on answering 6 fundamental questions. It all kicks off with the why. What's the company's main goal? Is it all about profit or maybe making a social impact? Then you've got the what, the actual product or service. Then the who, your ideal customer. And finally, you get to the how you're going to reach them, what it's all going to cost, and of course, how you'll get paid. I'm telling you, every successful business has a rock-solid answer for every one of these.
All right, so let's check out some of these recipes in action. We'll start with the most basic split in business today, the physical world versus the digital one. Yeah, we're talking about old-school brick-and-mortar shops versus the clicks of online businesses that have, let's be honest, completely changed the game.
And you can see the trade-offs right away. Physical stores, they offer things you just can't replicate online, right? That face-to-face chat, the chance to actually try something on before you buy it, and that feeling of just taking it home right then and there. But online businesses have some killer advantages. They never close, their costs are way lower, and they can reach customers on the other side of the planet in an instant.
But online business isn't just one recipe. It's a whole cookbook. You've got the advertising model, where services like Google are free for us because advertisers are the ones footing the bill. You've got the subscription model, like Netflix, where you pay a fee for access. And then you have brokerage models, like eBay, which just take a little slice of the pie for connecting buyers and sellers. The digital world has just opened up so many different ways to do business. But of course, the really smart companies today, they're not just picking one or the other. They're evolving. They're creating these hybrid bricks and clicks models. Think about a big supermarket. You can go shop in the store, sure, or you can order online and get it delivered, or even order online and just swing by to pick it up. They're mixing the best of both worlds to meet you wherever you happen to be.
And this whole trend of connecting more directly with customers, well, it leads us right into our next model, which really takes that idea and runs with it. This one is all about one thing, cutting out the middleman. It's called direct-to-consumer, or DTC, and you might be surprised to learn it's actually an old idea that's making a huge comeback.
And here's the kicker. It's not a new idea at all. It's a business model that's literally making a comeback from, wait for it, pre-industrial times. Before we had massive factories and complicated supply chains, this was just how things were done. Artisans and farmers just sold what they made directly to the people in their town. And the difference is it's night and day. The old retail model has all these layers, the manufacturer, the wholesaler, the retailer, all before a product finally gets to you. With DTC, it's so beautifully simple. The people who make it sell it straight to the people who buy it. That's it.
Let me tell you about Alicia and Adam. They used to be miners, and they started their own farm. Now, instead of selling all their produce to a big supermarket that would take a huge cut, they created a subscription service. They started delivering fresh produce from their farm directly to people's homes. The customers got insanely fresh food, and Alicia and Adam got a real connection with the people they were feeding. That is DTC in its purest form.
And that direct connection? Oh, it unlocks some massive advantages. You get unfiltered feedback straight from your customers, which lets you make your products better, faster. We're not talking about a suggestion box here. This feedback becomes a key part of how you develop your stuff, creating this rapid improvement cycle that older, bigger brands just can't compete with. Plus, you get total control over your brand's story, which helps build some seriously strong loyalty.
Okay, let's totally switch gears and look at a completely different way to grow, franchising. If DTC is all about creating a unique direct connection, well, franchising is kind of the opposite. It's about perfecting one single recipe that can be copied flawlessly over and over and over again.
It really all boils down to a special kind of deal. On one side, you have the franchisor. That's the big company that owns the famous brand and the proven system. Think McDonald's. And on the other side, you have the franchisee.
That's an entrepreneur who buys the right to use that brand and system to open their very own location. Take a look at the gelato chain Gelatissimo. Their secret recipe wasn't just in the gelato itself, it was also the high-quality ingredients and that specific friendly atmosphere in their shops. Franchising is what let them copy that exact experience perfectly, so a customer in one city gets the exact same great vibe as a customer thousands of miles away. That kind of consistency is how you build a powerful global brand.
But, and this is a big but, for the person buying the franchise, it's a major trade-off. On the one hand, the pros are huge. You're getting a proven model with a brand people already know, plus a ton of training and support. That seriously lowers your risk. The downside? You've got way less freedom. You have to follow all the rules, pay fees forever, and hey, if some other franchisee messes up, it can splash back and hurt your reputation too.
Now, franchising is one way to take a business international. But now, let's zoom all the way out to the business model that is built from the ground up to cross borders and connect the entire globe on a massive scale. We're talking about import and export.
You can think of these businesses as the expert navigators of global trade. They're the ones who deal with the incredibly tangled mess of rules, logistics, and currency swaps that it takes to get a product from a factory in one country to a shelf in another.
And just to give you a sense of the mind-boggling scale of this, get this, a staggering 97% of Australia's international trade happens by sea. That's a massive, non-stop river of goods circling the globe 24/7. It is literally the lifeblood of the global economy.
But make no mistake, it is a high-stakes game. Importers and exporters are constantly juggling ever-changing regulations, wild currency swings, political drama, and of course, logistical nightmares like massive shipping delays. It takes an incredible amount of planning and a super deep understanding of how the world works.
So let's do a quick recap of what each model really focuses on. A classic brick-and-mortar store, it's obsessed with the in-person customer experience. An online business is all about using tech for convenience and global reach. A franchise is a masterclass in copying a successful formula and scaling up. Each one picks a different battle to win.
And that really brings us to the most important point of all this. A business model isn't carved in stone, it's more like a living, breathing thing. The most successful companies aren't the ones who found the one perfect model, they're the ones who are constantly tweaking and adapting it to keep up with new technology, what the market wants, and frankly, how we all change our own behaviors.
Which leaves us with one last, really exciting question. What's next? Are we going to see businesses that exist only in the metaverse? Will AI create models that personalize absolutely everything just for you? The possibilities are honestly mind-blowing. And the next game-changing business model, well, it might just be waiting for someone like you to invent it.